Welcome to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. Are you evaluating your career in real estate? Feel like you're ready for a fresh start? Or ready to take your career to the next level? This is your podcast. Welcome back to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. I'm your host, Meredith Fogle, along once again with Tina Nader.
Hi.
Tina, thanks for being here again. And Tina is sitting next to, if you're wondering what's stacked beside her, those are hay bales because we are getting ready to host Oktoberfest here in front of our office. It's part of a much larger city event, Oktoberfest in Kentlands and Gaithersburg. And it usually brings like tens of thousands of people in, but they're calling for a nor'easter this year. So we will see what actually happens. We'll keep you posted and let you know. But whatever happens, it's always a really great feel-good day to celebrate and get back together with people that we haven't seen in a long time. So we want to talk about that a little bit. And we also want to talk about Tina's update. So let's start with where Tina has gone from the last time we talked, which was at that moment of Tina going like, okay, now I got to go out and get some more business. And what we see most of the time, we've talked about this many times before, in most real estate agents' careers is they get into this wave pattern of doing business. And the wave looks like this. They're like, oh my gosh, I have no business. And then they put their foot on the gas pedal of lead generation. And then they launch out of that slump. And then they're back in this momentum again, serving clients. Now, during the serving of clients, they take their foot off the gas pedal of lead generation. So guess what happens? It's just like if you take your foot off the gas pedal in your vehicle, it's going to slow down, you're going to backslide a little bit, and then they have to work really hard to get back up again. They plateau, go back down, and it is a interminable pattern that is just what most agents go through for their entire careers. And it's exhausting. It is not a good way to spend your energy or time. So what I think, Tina, what you're learning is that consistency of lead generation is what is going to keep the pipeline full for you. And then when you have the extra kind of like ability to go out and grab business in the way that you do, it makes a huge difference. So fill the audience in where you have, how, first of all, you got out of that moment of panic of, oh my gosh, I got to go out and get more business. And then how did you actually get the clients that you're now working with?
Yeah. So the moment of panic is real, guys. I do feel it, and then I get really worried, and it's hard for me to sleep, and I'm thinking about it. But I just use it to propel me further, and then make more calls, follow up with people, and I can tell you that for the past 30 days, I made a commitment to make 50 calls a week, and I did it every single week.
Yeah.
And a minimum 50. So there was a little bit more in there some days too.
Yes, it's so good. And that is one of the things, really kudos to you, because we have been pushing that, emphasizing it. And the thing is, you were getting business. So for you, I'm sure it was like, I'm out there doing it anyway. I'm getting business. I'm talking to people. But we knew if you put this foundational layer in place, some of the panic of, oh my gosh, where's the next deal going to come from, would subside because it was going to start to flow naturally for you in a very similar, manner to like you put your car on autopilot, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you get to take your foot off the gas pedal. You get to like look around at the scenery a little bit. You get to go talk to other people. Very similar way. You're still moving. You're still in momentum. Things are still coming to you. You're getting to your destination, but without so much effort.
Right. No, absolutely. That really, I have to say, making the calls and getting more and more comfortable just doing it and committing to it is a huge thing. And look, not all of it is going to pay off right now. But what I'm hoping that this is doing is planting the seed for people, whether it's in a month from now or springtime.
Yeah.
I'm noticing that if I reach out to people and I let them know or show them my value and let them know what homes I know are coming that I think that they would like, and I know they're coming in a month or two, that's really getting people excited. And again, that's having that conversation with them and knowing exactly what they're looking for, and then following up. Having a sense of urgency is key to all of this. But so the last time I left you, I had finished my pipeline. I do have some buyers. It's just we just don't have anything right now at this moment that suits their exact needs. And believe me, I do call around still trying to find it. I don't wait, but that's another whole thing that I do. But getting back to what I was talking about was my first thing was, all right, what can I do that could actually show me results faster? And I thought, you know what, just go back to all your open house leads again, which is something I do, on a regular basis anyways, but still some, you just got to go through again and see what else is going on and what's new. So that's what I did. And lo and behold, I connected with someone, but I left them a voicemail and I sent them an email just saying how great it was to meet them and following up. I'd already followed up the first time, letting them know, right after the open house, I left a voicemail because they didn't pick up. Thanks so much for coming, blah, blah, blah. So didn't hear back from them. But this time what I did was I sent an email and I just let them know, recapped our discussion that we had and said, I have something coming that I think is going to be what you want, checks the majority of the boxes for you. And I said, and on top of that, I know of something else coming from a colleague of mine that I've heard through the grapevine. So we've got 2 options coming up. Let me know if you're excited and you're interested and you want to see it. And he called me back and said, yes, I would. And how's your schedule this weekend, which is the Oktoberfest? And it's a little crazy, but you know what? I'm going to make it work. So we are going to meet this weekend and we're going to hopefully come, and I'll let you know next week what happened, but hopefully get another buyer's agreement signed.
And so I want to just pause for a second because I want to make everybody really, really clear and aware of exactly what Tina just told you so that you can replicate it in your own business. So her pipeline felt dry. She went back and thought, where is the gold, right? Laying in my pipeline. And that's your database. Your database is where all of the gold in your business is. So if you've been doing open houses, if you have been paying for leads, if you have old Zillow leads laying around, going back and looking to see who are the people who might be a match for a property that you have heard is coming onto the market. So that also means keeping your ears perked for opportunities that are out there and staying close to the agent network, knowing that you're staying in the know all the time so that you can match make. It also means making sure that your database and your CRM has good hygiene. And by that, I mean you have people with notes that are up to date and robust enough that you remember what the conversation was, because we meet a lot of people, and that they are tagged in some way. So if you in your mind, you're okay, I know I met that person at an open house. I don't exactly know which open house it was, but I remember they wanted this and this. And sometimes they come into an open house that has nothing to do with the house that they actually want to buy, right? So it's not always the same kind of house. But at least categorize it so you've got a small subset of people to go back to and figure out, oh, it's that person, that's right. And then you went right to the matchmaking, right to the connection, right? You called and you said, now I've got something that I think you want. And what do you think made them call you back? You had something they wanted, right?
Exactly.
So that first call that was oh, thanks so much for coming. It was great meeting you. That was nice, but it didn't really give them a real reason to call you back. But this now gave them a reason to call you back, because it was I have this thing I know you want. You don't know what it is, but I can tell you. That's what created the connection, and now you've got an appointment. Very nicely done. Yeah. Very nicely done.
And before I called, I knew what they wanted. I went around and called a few places, and I reached out to some other neighborhood realtors about what they have that's coming up potentially in the next few months. And one of them notified me of something that's coming up in the spring, and I was able to speak with that person, and they let me know, you know what, I can let you see it a little earlier. So I'm hoping that this is a good match for my client as well.
Yeah, because you never know, the client could match the person's time frame, and if you can get it in before anybody else, super win for your client.
Yeah, I always feel like you have to ask.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you won't know, so that's just how I've always been.
Exactly.
Asked. But I'm really excited about this one. I really connected with this client, and I'm really thrilled to be seeing them and helping them find something. And another thing I just want to point out is they were actually working with another realtor who sold them their home, and during the open house they actually mentioned that they felt a real good connection with me, and I was really surprised. It's such a nice thing to say to somebody, but it made me feel really good. But at the open house I did let them know again, I primarily work in this area, if that's what you're looking for. We are all experts at the List Realty in this market segment, and just kind of talk to him and let him know if you want a home, in this neighborhood, this is who you need to talk to.
And it happens all the time where that sort of a thing will come up, and the person says, I'm working with this other agent. We never want to overstep the boundaries. But so many times people realize that they need the neighborhood expert if they want to get first dibs on the house that they want. I think that's what happened in this case.
Right.
And I think these guys didn't have a signed agreement anyway.
Oh, yeah,
so
no.
it didn't matter. But still, even if they did, for you to be able to show your value, you don't want to go behind the sign, obviously. Mm-hmm. But for you to be able to have that connection, show your value, and even to say, let your agent connect with me. Make sure that your agent has my information so that they can get on my list of agents. We've got a kind of a waiting list, and our buyers do get first dibs for houses that are in the neighborhood that we have coming up or that we know are coming up. But we can certainly add you to the list so you get at least sooner access than other people might. So nicely done.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to, again, they did not have an agreement to buy a home with the other person, and they lived somewhere a lot further out than where they're looking now.
Yeah, and one of the things Tina mentioned is creating that sense of urgency. And I want to talk for just a minute about why that's important. Not the first time we've addressed this on the podcast, but I think most of the time when we've addressed it before, it's been in the really busy, fast-paced market where we're like, you've got to act. You've got to help your people figure out how they can act quickly, because if they sleep on something, it's gone the next day. Well, not all the time now. It's a little bit different. However, what I am seeing more and more is people really allowing their buyers to miss opportunities, and their sellers sometimes too, by creating a zero sense of urgency and just allowing people to kind of just sleep on things interminably, revisit houses multiple times. Not to say you can't go look at a house more than once. That's kind of a luxury that people have these days. But Tina, when you think about creating a sense of urgency, what does that mean to you, and how do you do that with the clients that you serve?
A couple different ways. If they like the house, I let them know that, look, first of all, we need to act fast, because if you like it, there's definitely other people that are going to like it. And I can also see when I make appointments, how many other appointments are in our app and showing time. I do pay attention to these little things.
Yeah.
Like, for example, guys, what I like to do is if a new house is coming on the market, as soon as I see it released that night, I let my client know, hey, there's a house coming up. How's your schedule tomorrow at 10? I try to be one of the first slots in showing time to go see the house before noon. Always, I'm like, before noon, let's just get in, let's take a look. Then the other thing is, I've learned if you do like it, we need to go in with the strongest offer, because a few times it's happened where we thought an offer was strong and it wasn't strong enough. So now I've learned how to even make offers stronger. That was a huge thing, because it's hard to compete against certain things in real estate transactions. If someone is offering a lot more things or is paying more money, you can be creative also and talk to them and see what else they could do to make the offer stronger. But really talking to them about, hey, if you lost this house tomorrow, would you be upset or could you move on? And when they tell you, no, I love this house, and you can see it when you're in the house and their eyes just widen up and they get giddy and they're talking to each other and they're already placing their furniture. I'm like, all right, guys, I can tell you really like this house. Let's not lose this one. Let's get this. I mean, I don't say let's not lose it, but I'm like, let's get this for you. And they know now the way I am, because everything I do is with the sense of urgency. We do act fast. I will go ahead, as soon as my appointment's done, I'm sitting down and writing that contract for them. On my ride home, I'm already calling the lender. These are all the things that I do, immediately after to facilitate everything and get it going.
Yeah. So important. And one of the things I think that I'm hearing you say in such a clear way too is that helping them get to their goal quickly is your goal, right? And what I see happen sometimes, especially in a market like this one, is an agent will just kind of allow the client to take the lead and to push the agent along. And when they miss the opportunity, like let's give that exact example and say that you didn't get that house, those people are upset afterwards. Somebody else slid in there and got the house. And guess what? People tend to blame other people before they blame themselves. And guess who they're pointing a finger at? Their agent. They're like, she should have told me that I needed to act more quickly. She should have told me I needed to be a little stronger. And that's what you do so well, is you're like, this is what we need to do. If this is the house for you, this is what we need to do to get this for you. You just did this with an off market. That was one of my listings. Brought somebody in and said, look, if you want this house, here are the hoops that you need to jump through. This is absolutely perfect for you. Let's make it work for you. And we've got to make it work for the seller in order to make it work for you. And they did use the time frame that worked for the seller. Great price, great terms, all of that. Did you know that 63% of sellers and buyers choose their agent based on local proximity? That's why farming or geo-farming is such a proven method for long-term success in real estate. If you've been considering becoming a farmer or a geo-farmer in your market, but not sure how to get started, check out Farming for Real Estate Agents. This blueprint will walk you through exactly how to choose a geofarm area, how to figure out by running some calculations whether the farm area that you're selecting can support your goals, and will help you track your return on investment. You'll also hear from locally famous farmers who have already dominated their market shares, so you can R&D their secrets and dominate the area that you choose to geofarm. Really interesting, just a little kind of a nugget to drop in. You made me think of doing things that are kind of creative or different sometimes is useful too. Shout out to my wonderful coaching client, Amanda Jones, who is in the Clifton, Virginia market. She told me yesterday about a listing that she has, and the winning offer was one that said, hey, if you want, you can even leave all the furniture. And these people were moving to a house where they were refurnishing the entire house. So the client said to Amanda, this is her listing, said, you know what, I might just walk out of the house, leave the key, lock the door, and leave all my stuff. And Amanda was like, yeah, I mean, they told you could do that. But that was like just that icing on the cake that made the seller feel like that's a huge benefit to not have to like hire a mover. She's just taking her personal stuff with her. I mean, super creative and a really great way to secure that transaction.
We did that in the office too.
Yeah.
I agree with you, because it can be really helpful for some people, because people are moving from other places, and again, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, you won't know, so we put in, because they don't have any furniture. So if you want to leave any furniture, we'll take it too.
Sometimes that's the case. Yeah.
So that's so interesting that you pointed that out.
Yeah. One of the other things is from the listing side, and this is a story from this week actually. And it is another case of an agent not having a sense of urgency. So in this case, this is a listing that I'm getting to sell for the second time. Can't believe it's been 7 years since I've sold that house. Oh, wow. Seems like 2 years, but anyway, this is one of my most favorite houses that I've ever sold. It's just such a cool property. And when I sold it the last time, I was the listing agent. The people that are now listing it with me were the buyers. And they had someone, I don't know how they were introduced to this agent, but anyway, who was going to list the house for them. And they were just having to push the agent along. Like, when's the sign going up? When's it going in the market? Are you going to do a coming soon with it? Are you going to do staging? She said, no, you've got to hire your own stager. So they had to hire their own stager. Photos, you got to hire your own photographer. I'm like, what? So anyway, they got to the point of exhaustion, and the kind of just straw that broke the camel's back was when the listing went into to Zillow at what was $800,000 more than we're actually asking for it. Yeah. Wow. And photos that were just should not have been online. So anyway, at that point they called me and said, we need to get rid of this agent. We want to hire you. And, of course I said, figure out on your end what you need to do. First, I'm happy to help you, but make sure you do it the right way. They did it very quickly. They were pretty aggravated at that point about how it was being handled. But the major thing was, like, we're in October. They need to get this house on the market. They want to get it sold. And she was just like dragging her feet. So again, when you can move fast, it makes a huge difference. Now, because of the machine we have here, we were able to get it turned around in like 2 days and get it staged right away, get photos taken right away, get some little prep work things that need to be done, get it right into the MLS. We're going on the market tomorrow.
So
yeah.
exciting.
But that's it. You've got to be able to get yourself into a position to be able to move fast, which means you need to be excited about it too. Because guess what? When I got that call, I was so excited and just delighted to be able to help these guys. And they've been so grateful for the assistance we've given them. So move with a sense of urgency. In any market, it's going to be one of your key differentiators. If you're able to do it, that sets you apart. Winners move fast.
And another thing that helps is also telling a story. And maybe that's a story of something that didn't work in the past because something else didn't move as fast, or someone didn't move as fast and lost something that could have been, completely avoidable if you did act on that same day. So I do think that that's important too, just to show the difference. Sometimes that really helps, talking about, working with someone who moves quickly and someone who doesn't, what the results could be.
Good point. All right, so let's completely shift topics now for a minute and talk about what we're doing in terms of creating a community, and create a community event, but creating a community experience here. And this is one of the things that I think is a major misconception for agents who want to geofarm. And geofarming, for my entire almost 30-year career, has been a thing, has been like a hot way to do business. And it's probably been one of the most misunderstood strategies for doing business. This is what I hear most of the time when somebody comes to me and says, well, I tried geofarming and it doesn't work. I say, well, what did you do? We sent 10,000 postcards out for 4 months. What else did you do? We sent 10,000 postcards. And so I'm like, okay, well, that was not geofarming. That's just mailing postcards. Probably not even that effective postcards. So geofarming is not just direct mail. In fact, you can be an effective geofarmer without sending any direct mail. Although it's helpful to have direct mail, it's not necessary to the strategy. Geofarming is a layered, multifaceted marketing strategy in a restricted geographic area. That's geofarming. Becoming that I see you everywhere agent in your market, which means being out and about and present in your market, most importantly. Meaning getting to be in relationship with people and talking to people. One of the easiest ways to do that is be part of or host some kind of a community event. Now here's another little secret that I think most of you guys listening will relate to. Most super successful real estate agents are not naturally extroverts. They're actually natural introverts who force themselves to be extroverted because they know they need to be good at talking to human beings if they're going to create relationships that lead to transactions. That's me. If you guys have been listening to me and watching me for a while, you know I am an extroverted introvert. Once I get out and start talking to people, I like talking to people, I like people, but I'm not naturally, I'm totally fine just being completely by myself all day long if I wanted to be. I'm happy as a clam. However, I also know that the more people I can talk to, the more at scale I can make my relationships, the faster I'm going to grow the kind of residents in the community that I need to be able to be successful and to serve the clients that I want to serve. So a great way to do that is community events. Look for places in your community where there are actually already events that are being hosted that you could be part of. And by being part of, I don't mean stick a sign up or have a banner there. I mean, you are present at the event, talking to people, having some kind of a significant impact on the event. And if there is not something like that that already exists in your community, consider creating an event or an organization that can help to foster a sense of community and give you a way to get into relationship with people. Even better if it's something that you're passionate about. If you do something that you really love, like my theater company, that's one of the reasons I do it is I like to be, it's one of my labors of love, I'd like to be around that community and those people. I meet wonderful people doing it, and it gives me a way to give back. Oktoberfest, I actually also love. And it's funny because normally, even before I hold open houses, this is something people probably don't know about me. I'm always all morning long, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go hold an open house. I love it once I'm there, but there's this sense of dread leading up to holding an open house. Why? I don't know. It's the introverted me, I guess. But once I'm there, I love talking to people. I love showing off the house, obviously, and we get so many of our houses sold that way. But Oktoberfest, I'm all excited about every single year. It's so much fun and it's so good for the community. So figure out things that you can do in your community that give you a presence, something that's kind of natural to you. Mm-hmm. When I was a young mom, it was like the science fair, the variety show. Those were the two big things that I was involved with. I was always on the PTA board in some capacity, but mostly so I could be part of these big events. when the kids got a little older, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know I was the swim team, one of the swim team reps for many, many, many years at all the meets, seeing all the parents on the pool deck and very involved in all of that. And Oktoberfest has always been a thing in the theater company. So think about things that you can do. Tina, what do you think about that? Do you agree that that's important?
Absolutely. And I just actually did something really different and out of the box. And I didn't even mention it, but it just came to my mind. So I used to live in a different block in the neighborhood, and I have a lot of existing friends, but since I've moved, which was probably about 3-4 years ago, a lot of new people have come. And then recently somebody else new has joined the block. And so the other day I emailed all the people on the block and I said, hey guys, let's do a warm welcome for this person and do a block party outside in the front. And I invited everybody in the neighborhood to do a potluck thing outside, and we're gonna do this next week.
Nice.
But again, just some way to network. It's really to welcome her, don't get me wrong, but when we're talking about this, it's also another way to, get to know everybody and see what's going on in their lives and see what changes are happening. But just honestly, just a way to connect.
Yeah, that's lovely. I didn't know you were doing that. That's amazing.
I thought it'd be a nice way to welcome
Really
this
nice.
person, just
Really
because
nice.
I think they're lovely anyways, and I am really excited to have them live in our neighborhood.
That's so sweet. I love it. And so nice when it's like in the neighborhood you live in. You can also use this strategy though for people who don't live in your neighborhood, and credit to Jenny Hensley in the ecosystem, the Tom Ferry ecosystem for this, which is doing welcome parties or housewarming parties for the buyers of her listings. Both buyers that she is helping find houses and also buyers for listings that she has sold, particularly in the area that she mostly concentrates. So what she'll do is she'll go around, she door knocks to invite the neighbors to come to the housewarming party. She has this big giant oversized card that she asks them all to sign, whether they can be there or not. And then she invites them to come be part of the party. And then she's like a server, and you said this too, right, that she found herself feeling like, okay, well, I don't want to be like the center of attention here. This isn't about me. So how can I help? I can serve. And it helps me talk to people as well. So she'll go take like the mimosas around, or she'll take the, desserts around, or whatever it is, and just talk to people. And they say hi and thank you. And who are you if she's not wearing her realtor badge, if they don't already know. And it just, again, becomes like that extra little give back that creates relationship, which creates trust, which creates transactions.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if you have kids, another great way to do it is to volunteer at their school.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of that with the book fair, whatever event it is. I mean, I've been doing that for years anyway.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to help in the community and to, form bonds with other people.
Yeah.
And then keep them updated on what's going on. Because really, I always get that. The first question is, so how's the market?
Always. The minute you know you're a real estate agent, yes. Yeah, it's so true. So think about the stage of life that you're in and the things that light you up. It's funny, as my kids have gotten older, I was like thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to still be in relationship with the people who like go to the schools and things like that? And now I find myself, I'm at the football games at Quince Orchard High School, which is our high school, seeing people that I know and I see all the time, and seeing people I have not seen in years. And guess what? A lot of those people have kids who are graduating and might be thinking about making a move in the future. So again, it's not like just to do business. It's because I really do care about and like the people that I see. But just getting out, if you found yourself, especially since COVID, like kind of being behind closed doors, or if you're like me and it feels natural to just kind of be by yourself, do yourself a favor, push yourself outside of your comfort zone, get out there, be amongst people, make human connections. It's going to do a lot for you, and it's going to do a ton for your business. All right, well, this was good. We went a lot of places in this show, I think, but I hope that you guys got something out of it that you can add to your business to help you feed your pipeline heading into the fall, so that you have a fantastic spring market and maybe a really strong fall market too. All signs are pointing to a nice recovery coming up. So the more you do now to fuel your pipeline, the better off your business is going to be coming up. Tina, thank you for being here. Congrats on your success as always, and thank you for sharing. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. If so, please leave us a review or rating on the platform on which you are listening or watching. It would mean the world to us. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel, and we will keep you updated. This has been So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. We'll see you next time.
Bye.